Okay. All right. So I think I'm live in all locations. Yeah, I'm live everywhere. So I'm just gonna give it a second before I really get going. But you know me, I'll go live and I'll talk whether there's anybody listening or not. Everybody can just catch the replay. So I decided to do this as a live broadcast because I didn't feel like recording and uploading, truth be told, and wasn't 100% sure that I could keep my thoughts to just um, 10 minutes. So, let me do this. Let me hit the share. Boop, 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 boop. To a few folks, I hit the share. Wow. So, um, Alafia, good morning, Ikaro, Grand Rising, all of the things, all of the words. Happy new day, happy new moon, happy new moon, a beautiful, luxurious new moon in Taurus. So this morning, and for those who are new here, hi, what's good? TikTok first in the house, and I think we either got Facebook or YouTube in the building. I shit, Facebook or YouTube, y'all got to comment so I know who you are. Um, so this morning, my goddaughter reached out to me with some concerns, and it spawned a thought, some questions around or a conversation around crying. So before I get started, hi, I'm Ianifa Owini Adina Dulcimi Fa Omi Shango. I am an Ianifa and Ifa priestess, an awakening doula for the African American diaspora, and I am the mother of Temple Egbe Ori Egun Ofo Ashe. So, in the respect of what she said, she reached out to me. So we're getting ready for some big ceremonies and things of that nature. And what she asked was, is it normal for to be emotional around that? And of course, that's a big thing. But one of the things that stuck out to me about what she said was that she never cries. And so my first knee-jerk reaction response was, that's not a flex. And I feel like that's important to share, that never crying is not a flex. That's not this thing that you should, oh, I don't cry. I don't emote. I don't shed tears. That's in itself ain't a good thing. What are you bottling up inside? The reason why you feel like you shouldn't cry. And I feel like this is, especially in the African American diaspora, this is a byproduct of colonization. That is a byproduct of us being told that we shouldn't cry, we shouldn't have feelings. And it starts with us in our childhood. We are told to allow ourselves. You think about the hearing people who had parents who beat them, and one of the things is like, if you better stop crying or else I'm going to give you some more. So there's this indication of weakness and crying being associated with punishment. And that's a trauma response to not cry. So not cry is a trauma response. So when I was talking to her, I was like, if you are crying now and you have never cried before, and you're doing this on the heels of this big transformation that you are about to take. She's about to undergo a major transformation. So in the course of undergoing this transformation, she is experiencing healing. The effects of the transformation are not waiting until she goes through whatever she's going to go through. It's starting now. She's already in a space of transformation. She is already in a space of healing. So understanding that because she's already in this space and open to the transformation, being open to the healing process that is wanting to come to her, one of the things that's happening is she's releasing. And that's what crying is. Crying is simply a release. Crying is your body, it is the spiritual bath for your heart. When you think about from a biological perspective, crying is something that is released from your body. There are liquids being released from your body when you cry. And if you think about from a biological perspective, everything that leaves your body is supposed to leave your body. Anything that's in your body that wants to get out, you're supposed to let it out. So this also includes the energy of our emotions. Our emotions are supposed to be felt, they are supposed to be expressed, they are supposed to be released. If it's happiness, exuberant happiness, you might be smiling, you might be laughing, you might be telling someone all about your happiness. Anything that's supposed to leave your, anything trying to leave your body is supposed to get out. So when you think about your tears, you stifling your tears is preventing a biological process from taking place. There's something happening biologically. Your body is trying to let this thing go, and you are stifling the process on a physical level, which is also stifling the process on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level. Emotions, energy, and motion. When you feel something, good, bad, or indifferent, that is a message. There is a message being sent with the emotion. If it's a good emotion like happiness, joy, love, pleasure, the message is do that again. Keep doing that thing. Feel that thing again. This is something that feels good to you. This is something that is in alignment with you. Do that thing again. Whereas if you feel an emotion and the emotion is negative or not positive or doesn't feel good, like anger or sadness, then the message is, okay, let's prevent that. Let's not do that again. Let's avoid that, mitigate that, whatever that needs to look like. Change that, transform that. We're not supposed to stay in that feeling. So we're supposed to do something with the message. If it's a sadness and when you're crying, your body is trying to help you through the healing process of that emotion, of the situation that is causing you to feel like you want to cry. But when you don't cry, alafia, um, if you don't let yourself cry, if you don't allow yourself to feel, you are stifling your own healing process. You are stifling the process that is supposed to be happening to you biologically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So, me being who I am, I consulted E5 because I was like, okay, what does E5 say when it comes to when we allow ourselves to cry? When we allow ourselves to cry, what is happening? And E5 revealed for me the Holy Odu, Oyeku Ogunda. So let's want to break it apart. So we have Oyeku, which is the energy of endings. It is the energy of death. It is the energy of transformation. This is Oya coming through, bringing about closure. This is about closure. Oyeku is closure. It's like this chapter, this journey, this space is done. This energy is closed now. You don't have to deal in this energy. Oyeku is the principle of darkness. It is the Odu that brought darkness and night into creation. So when we think about darkness, black, this is feminine energy. So we have feminine energy coming in Oyeku, and Oyeku is sitting in terms of the Odu in the masculine side of the Odu. When you look about the masculine side of the Odu, this is our outward experience. This is what's happening in the world. This is what's happening outwardly. So you're in this feminine energy. You are receptive. You are emotional. You are allowing yourself to be nurtured and taken care of. So when I ask Ifa, what does Ifa say? Good day, Ifa say, when it comes to the idea of allowing yourself to cry, allowing yourself to feel, the first part is what's happening on the outside. What's happening on the outside is you're in the state of a feminine energy. You are in the emotions. You're actually in the feelings. What's happening is you are letting yourself sit and be still and feel what needs to be felt. Because what happens when you feel what needs to be felt, you can hear the messages that are trying to come to you from that emotion and can take appropriate inspired action. So that's part of it. Then we have Ogunda. We have Oyeku Ogunda. So when we look at Ogunda, Ogunda is the principle of removing of obstacles. It is anything that is an obstacle to your progress is being removed. So what's happening in Ogunda is a masculine energy, but it is sitting in the feminine principle. It is sitting in the realm of spirit behind the scenes. So what is happening is in Ogunda, there are obstacles being removed. When you allow yourself to cry, when you allow yourself to feel your emotions and feel your feels, what is happening on an emotional, spiritual, and mental level, the areas of the intangible, is obstacles being removed. Things are being released and let go of so that you can have progress. Ogunda is the principle of obstacles being removed to your progress. If it is hindering your progress, Ogun comes through to help you to do the work, a lot of times the inner work, so that you can remove those obstacles to your progress. So we have Oyeku saying we're going to end this cycle. Something is being let go of, something is ending, something is closing out. And because in a physical sense, meaning because you are allowing yourself to cry in a physical sense, what is happening in a spiritual sense is whatever was holding you back, whatever was keeping you from progressing, whatever was keeping you from moving forward, Ifa is saying those things are being removed. When you allow yourself to, no, when you allow yourself to cry, when you allow yourself to feel, when you allow yourself to emote, what is happening is whatever is not serving you is being let go of. Whatever is not meant to be held on to is being let go of. You are freeing yourself in that moment. When we look at the Odu, in the part of the Odu that represents what's happening in the astral, what's happening in the heavens, it's a balance of feminine and masculine energy. What is happening in the heavens, what is happening within our ancestral realm, in our Ori, what is happening in the divine, when we let ourselves emote in our consciousness, there is a balance coming about in feminine and masculine energy. It is sacred mother and sacred father energy coming together. When mother and father are in balance, what we then have is a co-creation process that is in harmony. Our co-creation process is in harmony when we are in tune and in touch with our emotions. We co-create with ease because we don't hold on to the things that don't serve us. We let them go. We mourn them. Grieve them. We release them. We recognize that they meant something to us for a time, but it is also time when we have to let those things go, when they no longer are going to be of service to us and our highest and greatest good. So we let them go. And because we're willing to make space and be in a state of receptivity in our physical life, in our spiritual life, spirit is able to take more action to bring more things to us. We're able to take more action and have more things come to us. From an energy of the self, what's happening within ourself is we are in a receptive feminine state. When you allow your emotions to be expressed, you are in a receptive feminine state. This is how you attract prosperity. This is how you attract abundance. This is not about gender. It is about which energetic vibration are you in. And when you allow yourself, regardless of your gender, to be in a state of feminine energy, that money that you're trying to get to, that bag that you're trying to secure, is able to come to you, because it can't come to you easily if you are rejecting your feminine energy. You have to allow yourself to feel and be comfortable with your feelings. So when you are someone who rejects your emotions, you are rejecting an essential part of feminine energy that allows you to make moves and make decisions. If you don't let yourself feel like you don't like something, or this doesn't feel good, and this doesn't feel like it's going to be okay for me, if you don't feel that feeling when you're supposed to feel it, then you don't take action that you're supposed to take. You don't take the inspired action when you don't feel the feeling that inspires the action. And thus those things is ashe. Thus those things that you're trying to get to, those things that you really want, they're just always just out of your grasp. You get the money, but it don't stay. You get the money, but it don't stay because you're not taking the appropriate inspired action. You might be taking action, but it ain't the right one because you're not into. Put it back. Now, sorry. So that you don't have, you're not taking those actions because you're not in tune with yourself. You're not into, like, we got a mom too. We got to do, like, we got to multitask. Like you have to be in tune with your, and then leave the room, close the door like I had it. apparently my son is obsessed with my Cards Against Humanity game, and I'm gonna need him to not, because I ain't played it good yet. The cards still nice and crispy. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Thanks, Mommy. You're welcome. Bye, Mommy. Bye. Um, so you have to be in tune with those emotions. When I look at the energy of what's happening in our day-to-day life, when we let ourselves be in that feminine energy, when that feminine energy takes the lead, this is again not about gender. This is about what starts first. Like it's like the chicken or the egg. What comes first? What comes first is the inspiration. And inspiration happens in feminine energy. Inspiration comes from spirit. That's feminine energy. So it starts with feminine energy. So it's beginning in the feminine energy. What happens then is when you're in that space of allowing yourself to feel your emotions, feel your feels, and do what needs to be done. When you take expired action, you can also take new action, because the energy coming in that space is also a youthful masculine energy. So whereas father energy is very stable and grounded, youthful masculine energy is like ready, like Aries energy. It's like, I am all in. I am ready to go all in on this thing. I'm ready to take a leap. I've got innovative ideas. I have new ways I want to get this thing done. Why? Because I feel like feminine energy, this is what's going to be for my highest and greatest good. Youthful masculine energy, Aries is the sign that says I am. Aries is a sign of I am. And in Aries energy, what ends up happening is Aries says, if this ain't gonna serve me, I'm not going to do it. Very much like Scorpio. If this is not going to serve me, I'm not going to do it. If these people, places, things, and ideas are not serving me, then I have to walk away. I have to let them go, because they don't serve the I am that I am. Thank you so much, Miss Jones, for the glitter badge. They don't serve the I am that I am. So instead of me staying here in this space, I'm going to walk away. This is what happens when we're in tune with our emotions. We don't have to be in a bad situation to recognize the situation ain't for us. For my tarot readers, for people who get tarot readings, that's Eight of Cups energy. When you look at the tarot card for Eight of Cups, all the cups are standing upright. None of the cups are on the ground. They're all standing upright. But yet this person is still walking away. Why? Because it doesn't matter that these cups look good. It doesn't matter that the water in the cups is clear. Only thing that matters is those cups ain't for me. Those are not my cups. And when you allow yourself to feel and recognize, thank you, that those cups don't be for you, then it makes it easier for you to take the inspired action and walk away. This goes the same thing with relationships. A lot of times people say, well, that's a good woman, that's a good man. That's cool, but they may still not be for you. They may be a good man or good woman for someone, but that good man or good woman is not for you. And you staying in a relationship just for the sake of whether they're a good person, eventually what's going to happen is something is going to remove them, because one or two, both of y'all is being an obstacle to the other one's growth and progression. You're supposed to let it go. My goddaughter that sparked this conversation. So for those who are just popping in, one of my goddaughters reached out to me because she's getting ready to undergo some ceremonies. She's getting ready to undergo some transformation. And because she's getting ready to undergo this transformation, she's been having these emotions. And she said she was feeling a way because she was crying and she never cries. And I said, never crying is not a flex. To not cry is not the flex that westernized, colonized, Abrahamic society has made you think. That's not a flex. You're disconnecting yourself, especially if you are a womb holder. This applies for everyone, but very much especially womb holders. If you are not allowing yourself to connect to the essence of your feminine energy, there's a blockage there. If you're not crying, if you're not emoting and things, there's a blockage. There is something that needs to be removed and released. And that's why Ogunda comes up in this Odu. When Ogunda is coming up in this Odu, in the realm of the spiritual, it's like, I'm coming through to knock down this wall. When you have a space where you're not emoting and you're not allowing yourself the fullness of of your emotions, like the full range, the full gamut of your feelings, you create blockages, and those blockages will, in fact, manifest in your body internally. Speaking from experience, my last pregnancy, I am an Aquarius. And if anybody knows, one of the stereotypes of Aquarius is that they don't show their feelings. It's not that they don't have them, they don't allow them to be expressed. So it's always like, oh my God, Dia's always so happy and she doesn't get mad and da 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 da. And then I keep going to my doctor, especially considering I was a high risk pregnancy. I keep going to my doctor, and she's like, your blood pressure is high. And it's my systolic, not my diastolic, which indicates that it is not about my diet. It is about something going on internally from a mental, emotional, or external environment. It's not food that's causing the issue. There is something else on a stress level causing it. I'm fine. That's me. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm okay. She's like, if you come back here with this blood pressure looking like this again, I'm going to pull you out of work early. And I could not afford to do that early. So I'm like, no. I'm good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. A few weeks later, I had been balling in, just holding in feelings, stress, anxiety. At the time that I learned that I was pregnant with my youngest, I was still nursing his brother because they're not that far apart. They're only 18 months apart. So I was still nursing his brother. They're like, you can't nurse his brother anymore because otherwise it'll trigger you to go into labor early. That was a stressor. Several months later, my son stopped speaking. His autism started to present and he went nonverbal for a little while. And though he's verbal now, it's still not is on par with his peers. But imagine being you found that you're pregnant, and also you begin learning that your son is on the spectrum. I'm fine. Everything's okay. I'm fine. Everything's okay. Not allowing myself to feel the feels. So what was I not doing? Taking any action. I was just in a space of I don't know what to do. I was disconnected. I didn't know what to do because I didn't allow myself to feel what I needed to feel so that I could take inspired action to make moves and decisions that were going to be beneficial to me, my son, and my baby. 9 months pregnant, that's how long, 9 months pregnant, something happens. My now ex-husband says something to me, and I'm driving back to the office having a panic attack. I'm like in the car, I'll say more like an anxiety attack. I'm crying. I can't. The fact that I made it to the office is nothing short of the fact that I am willful and was again not willing to acknowledge the level of pain that I was feeling. I sat in that car, I wiped my face and facilitated a meeting in front of 50 people, and nobody knew anything was wrong with me. Not a soul. There wasn't a single soul that walked up to me and said, hey, you good? You okay? No. You know why they didn't know? Because I hid it. I was proficient at this task. I hid it. I bottled the feelings up so well, not a single soul knew that I was suffering from depression. Get home, and something's wrong. I can feel it internally. Something in my body is saying something's wrong. I check my blood pressure. 179 over 101, something crazy like that. So here I am hitting the Uber up because the person that could drive me is the cause of what caused me to go to an anxiety attack. Anyway, I'm not asking you for nothing. So everything okay? My blood pressure is high. I'm going to go to the hospital. Just keep an eye on the baby. And I'll call you to pick me up. Just stay here. And my doctor kept me. Why? Because this is the beauty of Black doctors. She made me stay at the hospital so that I could sleep. She made me stay there so I could sleep. She's like, I know this is not about diet or anything else. You're not showing any signs of preeclampsia. You need to sleep. You need to sleep. So just stay here. She admitted me just so I could sleep. That was the only reason she made me stay in the hospital, because my blood pressure had already started to come down. And all I could do was cry. That's it. All I could do in that moment, all I could do was cry from appreciation, because that's what I needed. But because I didn't cry, I didn't emote, I didn't speak on how I was at people in my life. I need help. I need help recognize, for those who've never come to my lives before and don't know the journey, that this is a sequence. 20, late 20, 24. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I have PCOS. I have an infertility condition. Late September 2024, I end up getting pregnant with my firstborn. January 25th, I'm sorry, 2024, 2014, I'm pregnant with my firstborn son. January 2015, I end up in labor early, and he shows up early. I'm only 21 weeks pregnant when he shows up, and the hospital refuses to put him in the NICU. Me and my then boyfriend have to hold our son until he transitions to being an ancestor. 9 weeks later, I'm pregnant with my rainbow baby, his brother. I have him that December. So they're what they call Irish twins. Then following Thanksgiving, I'm pregnant with the youngest one. Where's my mourning period? When am I grieving? Because when I found out I was pregnant again, I stopped the grieving process. I stopped the mourning process because I did not want the baby to think that something was wrong. So I stopped. I didn't cry anymore. I think I went to therapy like twice. I didn't go anymore. I just said, I have to focus on here. I have to focus on this now. When he finally shows up, he's not in my body anymore. And my body's like, okay, you can grieve now. No, I can't. I got to take care of this baby. Hi. I love you, Jerry. Peace, peace, peace. I was like, I got to take care of this baby. I have to take care of this baby. So I'm not letting myself cry. I'm not letting myself show anything. But deep down inside, I am like craving crying because I haven't had a chance to finish crying for my firstborn. And then not being on, my firstborn, I'm not there. And I'm still on here because I'm on here now. I just don't come often. I've been a little busy getting ready for some ceremonies I have to do. But I am now going through postpartum depression because I'm home by myself. So I'm trying to be new mommy, grieving my firstborn child. So I'm grieving my firstborn child, trying to be new mommy to his brother. And also because, I didn't have some of the support that I wished I had while I was pregnant. I didn't take lactation classes. And of course, since I didn't take lactation classes, I didn't understand cluster feeding. And so when the person who's supposed to be supporting me the most says to me, you should stop nursing because clearly you're not feeding him enough. Otherwise, he wouldn't be feeding like that. I almost quit nursing then. I almost quit. All I could do was quietly, and only the few tears that I would let that I had no control over fall in this moment. And we get this while I'm actively nursing. But I still am not letting myself feel the full breadth of the emotions. So I'm staying and staying. And what is it, Julie?
The towels go in the couch.
Don't put it in the washing machine then. It's where the Virgo rising child. So I'm not feeling the feels. And that's because I'm not letting myself feel the full breadth of the feels. I'm not taking the action I should take. No, because I'm working right this minute. When I finish this video, you can sit behind me. Okay. All right, but you can sit beside me. There you go. That's good. Mm-hmm. I'm not letting myself feel the full breadth of the feels. I'm not letting myself feel it. So I'm not taking inspired action. Now, on the blessing side of that, had I taken inspired action, this youngest one may or may not have been here. But I'm not taking action. And that's the other part of the emotions is, Oyeku, I'm feeling the emotions, and the emotions are trying to tell me to end something. Something needs to end. When you're sad, when you're feeling those tears, the tears are falling, there's something that's supposed to be ending. And that's supposed to carry you into Ogunda, removing the obstacle. removing the thing that is causing you to feel whatever it is that you feel. But when you are disconnected from your emotions and you don't want to feel them, you don't want to hear what the emotions are trying to tell you. And so even if you allow yourself to cry occasionally because you can't hold it in anymore, you've kind of reached your cap. You've reached your emotional cap. So you can't help but express the emotion. You're still not connected to it. And thus you don't hear what it's trying to tell you. So even when, thank you so much, even when I would have let myself cry, and there were days like I would leave the apartment, go down to the car, close the door, and scream and just scream and wail and cry and then go back upstairs like nothing happened. Like that's where that disconnect was coming from. So understanding you not only, it's a two-pronged thing. It is feeling the emotion, sitting in the emotion, because Iyeko wants you to be still. For those, Oyeku, when I tell my godchildren, is like being in the birth canal. It is like you're in this space and you can't move. When you're in the birth canal, at that peristalsis, you're trying to get out, but you're not completely out. So you're still sitting in this space where you have to be still. You can't help it. And when you allow yourself to fully feel that, you have to sit in the emotion. You don't stay there, but you do have to sit in it and feel it so you know what it is that the emotion is trying to tell you. Thus, that you can remove Ogunda and take action like you are supposed to. And let's hear the message that the emotion is trying to give you. So I asked, like, well, what is if I want to say to people who are not allowing themselves to cry? If you're not allowing yourself to cry, if you're not allowing yourself to feel the emotions, feel the feels, and do what you need to do within that emotional space so that you can it's supposed to get you in alignment. Your emotions are there to help you come to alignment in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So it's like, well, what does that mean? And what Ifa is calling for is Iwori Ika. Iwori is the principle of transformation, specifically in our ori, in our consciousness, in our head. So this is a mindset change. This is where it starts here. It starts here. We got to change the way we see, think, and speak about our emotions. We can't immediately go to, I'm crying and this is a bad thing. I'm crying, especially those of us in a spiritual walk. Like, understand, we don't do spiritual bypassing. If you are if you are actually someone who's spiritual and you're not cosplaying as someone that's spiritual. And when I say cosplaying, that what I mean is that you will talk the talk. You're going to use all the words. Oh, cool. I'm going to say grand rising now. I'm going to say grand rising because, spirit doesn't know that there's two forms of the word morning in the English language, because clearly spirit is not a polyglot and doesn't speak every language. So they're going to think that I am in morning when I say good morning, when if you look at the spelling, it indicates the root and etymology of the word. So either way it goes, whatever I'm saying, spirit generally speaking understands that what we mean is we're happy for the new day. But when you're cosplaying as spiritual, you can't see that. You can't actually understand that. You buy the crystals, but you don't charge them, you don't cleanse them, and you don't program them. Because you can have all the crystals in the world in your house, but if you don't tell them what to do, they're just decor. They'll do what they naturally do. But in the grander scheme of things, they're just decor. You are not aligning them. They got a consciousness. You're not supporting their destiny. You're not even being honorable of the destiny that these things have. You're going to wear all this white, but you don't understand that just because you wear white don't make you spiritual. It's still a color. What does it mean when you're putting the white on? Or you make assumptions about people who wear white because you don't know why they're wearing white, because you didn't ask, you didn't hold a conversation. You're spiritual because you have all the tools, but you don't have a spiritual practice. So you don't have prayers and things. You're not honoring your ancestors, Black people. You're sitting there and you're just cosplaying as spiritual, but you're not actually doing the work. And then when something comes up and something happens and it scares you, it makes you nervous, it makes you spirituality, when it is your lack of learning, it is your lack of discernment, it is your lack of getting an elder to support you on the journey that has put you in position to, F around and find out. You want to play spiritual, but you don't actually want to be spiritual. Because when you're actually spiritual, you stop learning and start applying the learning. You start applying it. And when you start applying it, you realize the conversation where you shouldn't be anger, that's not spiritual. Understanding all of our emotions are divinely inspired and valid. When you are angry and you dig deep, the root of your anger is probably sadness. There is something you did not cry for. And because you didn't cry for it over and over and over again, you get to this final place of now you're angry. Now you're mad, but you're mad about something that has built up over time that you did not allow yourself to see, feel, and express sadness over. And like, oh, we shouldn't get angry. No, you should. It should make you angry when you see genocide in the world. It should make you angry to know, especially as my melanated Black American people, you should make you angry to feel like we are still trying to climb up into just being treated as equal humans. Thank you. I'm back on earth. It should, but that you don't stay in the anger. You take positive, inspired action and do something with it. You do something with the feelings. And that's the problem when we don't acknowledge the feelings. We don't think our feelings are going to, your emotions are going to help you know where you are in alignment with your destiny. So when we look at Iwori, it is saying, I need you to embrace feminine energy. But Iwori has at the head of it, young feminine energy. So this is like big emotions, big feelings. So when Iwari comes through, when those feelings finally express, they're less controlled than mother energy. You think about a little girl being upset versus a grown woman, it's a different level of upsetness. And you're also in a space of learning how to deal with your feelings. Alafia, you're learning how to deal with your feelings on energy. You'll inspire action, create a transformation. So first and foremost, for people themselves to cry is to stop. Feel what you need to feel, because in your heart space, where your reality lives, this is where you're going to like express and allow yourself to live in your truth. In your Iwa Pele, you are living in your truth. And if you are not allowing yourself to feel your emotions, make note of your emotions, express your emotions in healthy ways, you are not walking in Iwa Pele. You are you are out of alignment with your destiny. So Iwari is trying to get that transformation so you come back into alignment. The other piece of it is Iwari Ika. Ika is the principle of your Ashe. This is your personal power. When you allow transformation to happen within your Ori and change your consciousness, change your thought process around emotions, understanding the power that emotions hold, if you use them effectively, you increase your Ashe. You increase your Ashe. You allow yourself to, Iwori Ika talks about the power of the word. When you allow yourself to feel your feels and feel your emotions, when you listen to people talk about manifestation, one of the things they talk about is there needs to be an emotional connection to the thing of which you are trying to manifest. So when you allow yourself to have a healthy relationship with the full gamut of your emotions, you are tapped into the full breadth of your personal power. Your Ashe increases, and again, allowing your co-creation process to fully express. It allows your co-creation process to fully express. Now you are getting more inspiration, because what's happening in the Ori realm of this Odu is daughter energy. So you are now getting this new inspiration. This is new inspiration. This is new connection to the feminine that was not there before you allowed yourself. You had been disconnected, and now you're getting this new youthful connection to feminine energy. And when you get this new, you get all these ideas. It's like, oh my God, when I cry, my head clears up in a very literal sense. When I cry, my head clears up. And then I can hear even more clearly what it is that the divine is trying to share with me. When I let myself cry, when I don't let my, and that's why anyone who's gotten a reading from me, one of the few things that I tell them is if I cry, I'm fine. If I cry, I am okay. Honestly, it's probably a good sign. What is happening is the way spirit is moving so much that um, I need to do something with the energy. So I'll let myself cry. Having a relationship, especially with Ifa, where I have this relationship with the Creator, I have this relationship with Oludumare and my ancestors and my Orisha and my Ekbe and my Egun, where I can sit at my altar and just cry. And just cry. Just sit there, overwhelmed with joy, and understanding crying is almost also not always an indication of sadness. If I get an Odu, especially a really good one, and it comes up in E-Ray. So I've got this really beautiful Odu that has also come up in E-Ray. And when I ask Ifa, what is the Ipo? And they say, it's just your devotion. You good, Shawty. You good. You've given. You've done what you needed to do. Just accept it. Accept the E-Ray at this point. I can't help but cry. I can't help it. And what's happening in that moment is that I am so overcome with joy that the idea of me ever feeling like I had to do something, oh, this is new. Okay. When I cry after spirit, after Ifa, after the Orishas, after my Ori has said, I'm going to give you this blessing, and there is not a single Ebo you need to offer in the moment. The tears are deconstruction. The tears are deconstruction happening in real time because the aspect of myself and my consciousness from my past life, the aspect of wow, um, wow, the aspect of my self that thought that I had something to prove in order to receive. I got to be at this level. I got to be at this thing. I got to be at this self. I got to be more perfect. If you were someone that grew up in an Abrahamic tradition, especially a particular one that begins with a C, there's this level of perfection that you are encouraged to strive towards. And the beautiful thing about Ifa is that you are not striving for perfection. You are who you are exactly how you are supposed to be. And that is the ask of Ifa. That is the ask. When I teach to my omos and to the temple, I tell them Ifa is a self love religion. It is a self love religion. And everything about the tradition and spiritual practices and medical physical concepts nurtures that. The roots of the tree that is you is your self love. The thing feeding those roots, the nourishment, is the wisdom of Ifa. That's the soul food feeding the roots, but the roots is self love. The root is self love. You have a tradition that says Olodumare Ori. And when you understand what Ori is, and understand Ori is you in totality. Your physical body is the temple of Ori. This here is the temple that your Ori, that your Ipanri most specifically chose to represent it on earth, your physical body.
Can I eat some honey buns?
I'll give you some as soon as I'm done. I'll be done in a minute. You can finish off the cinnamon roll. Um, this is your temple. So that means your Ori from your head to your toes is you, this all of this is your Ori. It is not limited to your head. There are aspects of Ori throughout your entire body. You and Ori are one. Ori, from a consciousness perspective, is simply the part of you remembering that it is also Oludumare, the oneness with the source, oneness with creation. And so when you recognize that, it is an overwhelming feeling of, so when I am kind to myself, when I learn myself, when I learn why I move the way that I do, why I make the decisions that I make, why these life experiences had to happen this way, why When I learn who I am, when you learn who I am, when you honor who you are, because once you learn it, then you have to honor it. So I'm learning who I am, honoring who I am, and loving every piece of that. That is what self love is. That is what self love is. Um, I shall, I'll be here. Um, you be who you are and embrace that in that way. When my class begins, all my almost have to start with the learning how to learn themselves. I give them a range of tools to choose from. I give them a basic birth chart, basic numerology, some gene keys, some human design, some Myers-Briggs 16 pattern. I give them all these things. Why? Because one of them is going to be the thing that they're attracted to. And in that one particular modality, they will continue to dig into who they are and learning themselves. And the more they learn themselves, they disconstruct the not self. They disconstruct the part of themselves that they recognize was imbued upon them by societal standards. And like, oh, that's not actually the whole of who I am. And then also recognizing as an emanation of the Most High in human form, it's a constant journey of learning yourself. You can never know God in totality. And if you are simply God in a human body, you will never know yourself in totality. So you are just constantly in a space of getting to know yourself, which is exactly what we do with our partners. I frame the first module like dating. Why? Because when you start dating somebody, and you're like, oh, you feel real fine. What you like to eat? What you like to do for fun? What are you doing? You're trying to get to know them. So you have to do the same thing with yourself. You start building that relationship. What E5 comes in and does is says, okay, now be that. As you are learning who you are, be who you are. Be that. One of the questions I sometimes get on lives is, what did E5 give me? Audacity to be myself. That's what it gave me. It gave me audacity to be myself. I am goofy. I am a whole nerd. I am a whole geek. I run the gamut. I go from nerd to geek, for real, no to geek. But I'm also a master at divination. I am not simply just a medium. I am also an oracle, and those two things are not the same. I am a mother. I am a daughter. I am a lover. I am a friend. I am, even in my classes, I allow myself to be myself. So even in the course of me teaching and speaking about Ifa, it is nothing for me to drop a random song in the midst of the conversation because the song's going to fit. If the song came in my head, it's going to fit. Don't worry about it. Just go with it. Just go with the flow. They know sometimes that I'll end up slipping in and out of channeling because I sit in the in-between constantly. I am in a constant state of being in the in-between. That is my natural state. My natural state is to be in between. As much as I am grounded, I'm also up there. I'm always in the in between. And so they know sometimes I'll get on a tangent and it's because I'm channeling and it's okay. It's okay. They know that I'm super emotional and I will cry at the drop of a hat. I let them see me as me so they will be as them. Because if I told me to walk in my Iwa Pele, be in my truth, and so when I am in my truth and I do so with audacity, that is me aligning with my Ipandi, aligning with my most favorite self. And when I allow myself to be my most favorite self, then I am manifesting in a way that is real time. People say, you can. Yes, you can. But you have to be in a certain space to do so. It's not that you can't manifest in real time, but you have to be in a certain energy, in a certain space to allow yourself to manifest in real time. So if you are someone that is disconnected from your emotions and not letting yourself feel, you're not walking in your Iwapele. You have to feel the feels. You got to feel the feels. You don't live in that's the thing I think people don't understand. It's not that you live there, but you don't just like, oh, there's feelings. You don't do a drive-by. You stop at their house. Okay, hey, you wanted to tell me something? Okay, cool, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the feelings. Fear is a good one. because understanding there's a difference between fear and a danger response, because they're not the same. They're very similar, but when you are in danger and then you're in a space of being fearful, they're not the same. You know when you're in danger. You know when you're in danger. But fear comes up a lot of times, stopping us from doing something that we don't know what to expect. We don't know what the outcome is going to be if we take this action. And that's our ego. And our ego is not against us. So again, when we walk on these spiritual streets and they're talking about you need to destroy your ego, that's not what it is. Hmm?
Can I eat a cinnamon roll?
Yeah, I said yes. I thought you could eat it.
No, I need a honey bun.
Well, I'll get that as soon as I'm done.
Okay.
All right. So understanding that I got like 10 minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right. Understanding that when we allow ourselves those feelings and we hear them, so like fear, you don't shame the fear, because when you shame the fear, guess what you're doing? You're creating a shadow because you didn't allow itself to be expressed. Your shadow is full of these things that you don't allow yourself. Move yourself, child. Allow yourself to acknowledge. Your shadow is full of things you don't acknowledge. So the first step is acknowledging your. Are you trying to eat the hearts?
Yeah.
Oh. Allow yourself to acknowledge that you have fear. You don't reject it. Okay, I'm afraid of something. Then you have a conversation. You missed some. You missed some hearts. They're still putting more up there. You allow yourself the ability to. Oh, I wasn't ready. Allow yourself to acknowledge why you have the fear. Why do you have this fear? Why is it present? Have a real discussion with yourself, your ego and your Ori. Have a discussion. Why is this fear present? And acknowledge what the fear is. And then let your Ori debunk it. Recognize the ego is a protective part of your essence. It is saying, I don't want you hurt. I don't want you heartbroken. I simply just, I want you to be happy. But it's also an overprotective parent. And when you recognize that's all it is, you have a conversation with that parent and say, hey, I know you're worried about me, but trust me. If you can reach it, go get it. If you don't want to wait, then if you can reach it, by all means, go off and go get it. But the likelihood of you reaching it is slim. But if you reach it, I'm also going to freak out. If he reached that honey bun, no, for real, I'm going to freak out on camera. I really am, because it's up in the top of my closet, purposely. It's in the top of my closet. So recognizing. Now, do you understand why I told you to wait?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks. The overprotective parent. Oh, child. So let me tell you. Hold on. We're gonna talk about this. Hold on. Okay. Give me 2 seconds, which I'm cool if y'all want to keep feeding him, so that he can get his life. I wonder what's in the box. I got a box. I wonder what's in the box. Here's small human. All right. Now that I've given him his snacks, so let me tell you about like phobias about animals. In a way, yes. When I'm finished, we will go get lunch.
Yes.
Thanks.
McDonald's.
I didn't say that, but we'll see what we can do. I hear you. Okay, when I'm finished, thanks. You know, the more y'all interrupt me, the longer I'm going to take. Yeah, the more you interrupt me, the longer I'm going to take. So there you go. Let me tell you about phobias. Understanding the root of the phobia is a thing. Jahi,
Alafia.
come say Alafia and then go. Go for it.
Alafia.
There we go. All right.
Post house. Post office.
Yes, post office. Yes.
Post.
Yes.
Post office.
Butterflies. Pre-COVID, I had a fear of butterflies. Why did I have a fear of butterflies? Because when I was a little girl, one landed on my nose. And you think about from a little, I thought maybe like 6, 7 years old. So from the perspective of it's right here, this close. So you know when something's this close, it's zoomed in. That thing was massive. And as pretty as butterflies are on things, I was petrified.
Mom, help me open the door.
No, what do you want?
Open.
The front door?
Yeah.
Jaheem, first off, come here. Stay out of there. Don't let stay out of there or there's no McDonald's. Now open the door for Jelani. Open the door for Jelani.
It's stuck.
It's not stuck. Just unlock it and open it.
I don't know.
Is it locked?
Yes.
Unlock it.
Unlock the door.
Is it stuck?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get it later. It's okay. It can stay on the porch. I'll get it later. I'll get it later.
Yes.
Jaheem,
Mom, do elephants have trunks?
yes. Okay, now go. So let me.
I do not know, Johnny.
Okay, so I remember the butterfly. I used to be scared of butterflies, and having a spiritual awakening removed the fear. Because the butterfly one, I did not actively do anything about. But the other one, roaches. And that one took active work. Like an unnatural, I see one and I'm running. Understand, that is an irrational, phobias are irrational fear. That's the definition of them. They're an irrational fear. I had a phobia around roaches. Generally speaking, I don't like bugs in general, but I have been actively working on that fear, like doing real active work. I ain't all the way there. So spirit, no, don't be sending me signs in the form of bugs. I'm cool with butterflies, dragonflies right now. That's where I'm at. I run a little bit less when I see bees, but I'm still not at the place where I'm letting this bee fly and land in my hand. I'm not there yet. I'm not, it's not where I'm at in my spiritual. That's not where I'm at in my spiritual walk at this moment. And that's okay. God knows that I don't dislike them. It's just that there's something in my psyche saying this thing is more bigger than it really is. And the fear of what it's going to do to me is outweighing my logic and reason that it don't really want to bother me. It really want to bother me. So I did act like do active things. So like I would see a bug, and I have pest control. So it really used to vex me if I caught a bug in my house because I get pest control. And so one, especially after a good rainy day and I live in the South, end up in my house. And eventually I had to just say, I'm bigger than it. So I used to just do stuff to like help me get through it. So I wasn't into stepping on them, but trust me, a swift or wet jet, bow. Okay, cool. But then I still had to get someone to come get it. I think the most profound thing I did was a lizard ended up in my house. And I'm like, why, Lord? Icaro. Why would you let this lizard in my house? We're not there yet, God. My next door neighbor, very nice man, called him over. Hey, can you, I got a lizard in my house. And all my homeboys live on the other side of town. Can you please come and get that? Can you come and come do that? Then I will cast my ikin and ask him what the message is. Then then I will go ahead and see, okay, cool. I will like understand, like come see about the lizard. The lizard ran from him all day, all day. He tried to trap it and everything. I had to be the one to catch it. And I'm like, y'all dirty for this. So it was just sitting on the floor in this room that I don't know what to call it. And I just got a jar and stealthily came up behind it and managed to get it outside alive. Now, I won't tell you that I didn't throw the jar up in the air so it could fly out. Um, uh, and I'm like, okay, alrighty then. So what you're trying to tell me to do, Lord, is not be so scary of the creepy crawlies. I appreciate that. One time for 11:11 on the clock. But understanding that I also tell my spiritual core, don't be sending me signs in the form of the creepy crawlies. Um, the other one is anytime I give an offering, especially if I do ritual, like heavy on if it's I'm doing ritual, a frog is always near my issue. Um, a frog is always near my issue that night after I do an offering ritual or something like that. I'll go outside on my porch and there's a little frog sitting right next to my issue. And I'll be like, okay, cool me. Cool. All right. I appreciate it. Look, I like, Lord, I'm a girl. Don't do that. Like, as much as I am God, gloriously goddess, I am divinely human, Lord, and I'm still a girl. I am still a girl. Oh no, see, the spiders, we've got an understanding, like, you don't bother me, I won't bother you. I will gently usher you out of my domicile, gently, but you can't stay here. You can stay at you can't stay in a spot where I'm trying to move about. That's what it is. You can't stay where I'm trying to move about. So yeah, for the person who asked me about phobias, it's just a work in progress. Like having a conversation with my ego and my ori so that they have a meeting of the minds and a coming to understanding, because I'm not trying to get rid of my ego. That's stupid. I'm still in a human body. I'm going to have an ego. What I am trying to do is have my ego and my ori agree with each other. I'm going to have my ego trusting that my ori is never going to suggest me to do something um, that is going to cause me harm. Like just my ori is not going to cause me harm, and my ego, now that I have trusted it, um, they're kind of on one accord, and I love that for me because it no longer feels like an internal battle between my ego and my ori. Because sometimes it would be like almost very literally a verbal conversation. Like I can hear them going back and forth. Um, that they don't agree, and now they agree more. And I also do work um, to help that along. And one of that is trusting my intuition. So, like at the beginning of April, I set an intention that I was going to trust my intuition in real time. Hey, Waffle. Um, I have actually been to Oyo Tunji. I just haven't been in a couple of years. I think 2022 Oshun Fest was the last time I was at Oyo Tunji. But I haven't been, nope, Shango was the last one I came to in 2022. And I just haven't been since then. Um, but trusting, um, hmm, I bet it was. I was not allowed to leave the house this past weekend. I was, yeah, stay in the house. Oh, okay, all right, say less. Um, the the beauty of trusting your intuition in real time was that getting the answers in real time and really just trusting it in real time. And when you trust it in real time, you start to see the results in real time. I was going to do this video, but I'll do this part here. I'm still going to make it as a video later. But I saw this gentleman, and he was talking about um, women not shooting their shot. And women, he's like, hey, that dude you got that social media crush, did you tell him he was handsome today? Did you slide in his DM and ask him had he ate today? Stop being so scary. And I laughed because even as scary as I tend to be of rejection, I trusted my Ori late last year because I had a social media crush. I was just like, every time they pop in my lives or comment on my posts, and I would just be like, I would just be so geeked and so happy. So I hosted an event and they actually came to my event. So in coming to my event, I actually got to see them, which I don't get to do on here. And I was just like, so when I finished, and I'm good. When I'm done.
Stop, please.
Okay. Don't go in that room. Don't go in there. I finished the event. We finished talking. And Jelani, move. Stop, finish the event and everything. And I'm just sitting there like, both of y'all go to the room and go watch TV.
Yes. I'm gonna watch TV, please.
Go ahead.
Bye, Mommy.
Bye. I keep telling you every time you interrupt me, make me go longer. So stop interrupting me so I can finish.
Okay.
Thanks. Oh, wait. Sorry, TikTok thingy. So my Ori is like, send him a message. Send him a message. Send him a message. And I'm just like, okay. Just trusting your Ori in real time. Okay, I send a message. Telling me handsome. All right. I just wanted to know that I hope I'm not being too forward, but I think you're really handsome. And so they were, appreciative of the compliment. And then I said, my friends can reach out to me outside of my DMs. So here's my phone number. And then they said, well, then here's mine. And I was like, see, colonization will have you not shooting your shot. Colonization will have you not shooting your shot. But please understand that whether the relationship was for a lifetime or just meant to be a season, every time I have shot my shot, I don't miss. Every single time. I did not miss. And I'm just like if I could tell my sisters anything, shoot your shot. You're like, oh my God, where's my soulmate? Where's my person? He's in that DM that you won't slide in. Shooting. Once he Mojuba or Chelsea, he'll shoot your shot. He's in the DM that you won't slide in. Had I allowed myself to rest in what society says that I should do, and that's the thing, society is not your Ori. Oh, wait. Society is not your Ori. You walking in the word of society is not you. Agbo ato is not you walking in your iwapele. Society is not your Ori. If you want to have money, consult of your head. If you want to buy a house, consult of your head. If you want to have a spouse, consult of your head first. And my head said, slide in his DM, sis. Okay. And what's crazy is for a lot of us women, womb holders, all of your Oris have told you to do that at least once. At least once. Slide in his DM. Say hi. Walk up to him. Speak. And recognizing that the first time you do it and it doesn't work, it is not about the success. It is about you trusting and doing what your Ori said. It is about you overcoming the fear of rejection. It's about you overcoming the fear. Also recognizing that every single person you date is not supposed to end up being your spouse. Exactly. It's never as bad as you think. And for the one that I most recently did, we still talking 7 months later. 7 months later, we still real good. It's real good. And Ifa likes him. It's real good. My egg like him. It's real good. Ashe, one time for shooting your shot. Like, understand, if your Ori is like, hey, go ahead and slide in his DM. Because see, your ego will be like, ooh, he real fine, and don't take no action. Move on by. Your ego will say, don't say nothing. Your ego will say, wait for him. Yes, wait for him. This is where balance in feminine and masculine energy comes in. Understanding that you saw, boom, you got the download, say hi. When you were in the feminine energy of being receptive, like, oh my God, this is attractive, and I feel like, I would like to see if they've got a good head on their shoulders, and then your Aurea says, cool, take the inspired action, say something. There's actually literally no noise in the background. It's actually quiet. I don't know what's going on. It's probably because it's probably almost time for me. See, that's when I know it's like it's time. I get the technical issues. It's like, okay, I'm done babbling for this morning. I'm done babbling. You hear a man's voice. When I tell you there is absolutely no dude in this house other than my small humans. Wait. Are you what? Wait. What about the cheekbones? Okay. So, okay, hold on. All right, we're gonna pause for the cause because my curiosity is like, who's talking about my cheekbones? Who do you hear? All right, let's see. It's not somebody here. It's somebody over there. It's not somebody here, it's somebody over there. It's somebody over there. Huh. If you Since you had Oyo Tunji, I wonder if somebody still lives with Oyo Tunji. You getting a download, sis. You getting a whole download. You channeling. It's not over here. It's not me. It's not me. You channeling. It's cool. If it's mine tend to be loud, but I don't think it's mine. Like, I think it's yours. I think it's yours. I think you. Oh, that's a good question. Oh God. Gosh, that is such a, like, oh my God, I could do a whole live on channeling. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this within 15 minutes so that I can like fulfill my word to my children and go get them some lunch. All right. So first, let's talking about what channeling is. Channeling is the act of receiving messages actively from spirit, whether it's your angels, ancestors, whoever that you're able to, based upon your own level of spiritual practice and gifts, able to channel. It's an act of getting a message. It's like, if you think about channeling, it's like you're turning a channel on TV and able to hear that particular channel. That's what it is. You have turned to a channel, whether consciously or unconsciously, and now you're able to hear what's on that channel. So that's what channeling is. It's simply getting the message. The message can be coming through to you in a couple of different ways. It could be coming through clairaudience or claircognizance or clairvoyance. So if it's coming to you through a clairaudience, you are hearing it. It will seem like it's coming through your ear, but not quite coming through your ear, like you're actually listening to the conversation or listening to the message being given to you. When it's claircognizance, it's like in your head. You don't feel like you hear it, and the thought is complete. It is a complete thought Whereas when it's clairaudience, it is like a conversation. It's like coming in and you're listening as it's going. Where claircognizance, it's complete when it comes in. Did he say he gave a cash app? I think that means your earbud might be picking up something extra. That's crazy. You might need to take your earbuds out. So understanding that the claircognizance feels more complete, feels more like a complete sentence as opposed to clairaudient. And this is again from my perspective. When I'm doing something channeling clairaudient, it feels like I'm listening to somebody. So like if you were ever in a divination with me and it's clairaudiently coming through, I pause because I'm actually trying to hear. Whereas if it's claircognizant, I'm just on go. I'm just simply on go. Like there's no break, no pause. I'm on go. But I'm also aware because of how spirit feels around me and also what I'm saying. Because sometimes what I'm saying is like, this don't make sense to me, but it'll probably make sense to this person. So I'm going to say it anyway. That's my claircognizance coming through. That's like, I'm just going to say it because it's in my head and I'm just going to say it. I'm simply just going to say it. But this comes with, yes, and understanding how your clairs work comes from being in your spiritual gym. So whatever the spiritual gym looks like for you. So like for like my godchildren, we have a session once a month where they purposely channel or use their spiritual tools to get messages from spirit. Like we spend like once a month and that's it. Create a safe, sacred space where they can feel comfortable. I'm like, okay, cool. Listen to spirit. Let's go. What do you get? Where do you get? Um, Yeah, that's probably another live, and yeah, that's probably your TikTok bugging. So, and I call it the spiritual gym because all humans are psychic. All humans are psychic. The difference between someone that calls himself a psychic and everyone else, the difference between a witch and a muggle is the witch goes to the spiritual gym. That's crazy. It's probably TikTok bugging. It's TikTok is like really weird. Um, but it's you go to the spiritual gym where your neighbor may not. Oh, he is live. That's hilarious. That's crazy. Um, it's you work out, they don't, and so that's what helps you strengthen your peace. Um, Strengthening your gift is you going to the gym. So you purposely doing things. So like if you know that you have um a clairaudient, um, you do stuff to let you stretch your hearing. So one of my godchildren, I told them to sit outside and simply just listen. See how far away they can pick up a sound. How far away could they pick the sound up that they were hearing and just stretch their hearing? Say hello. He said hello. Um, Stretch their hearing so that they could stretch their hearing out. Same thing with your clairvoyance. For clairvoyance, it's to stretch your when you stretch your physical vision, your psychic vision becomes stronger. So being able to like sit and say, okay, I see this, I see this, I see this, I see this, I see that, I see this, and see how far you can see and see how much you can see, what you notice. I'm looking at the grass, but I'm not just looking at the grass. I can see the sand underneath the grass. I can see the things crawling in the sand on the grass. Being able to see. Well, that was interesting because that was a nice little vision I just got there. So when you stretch your physical vision, it does that. Touching with terms of touch. Going around is like, okay, this feels hard, this feels smooth, things like that. That helps you if you're someone who has clairtaction, like I have clairtaction. So feeling the touch. If you're someone who has clairtaction and clairsentience, so you're not just an empath, because you can be an empath and not have a strong clairsentience. Empath is specifically about the feelings of emotions. Sentience is you feel energy, period. So if you have a good, strong clairsentience and clairtaction, you can then get used to how objects feel and start with the objects in your home, especially if you keep your home clear. Start with objects in your home. Just randomly feel things. Same thing if you're just doing clairsentience. What does the energy in your house feel like? How does it feel? What words would you use to describe how your house feels? Cool. Do that for a few days. Then go outside in your yard. How does the energy in your yard, not the neighborhood, your yard feel? Feel the energy of your yard and see what that feels like. And if those things are positive, that gives you kind of like a benchmark to work from to see how other things feel in relation to what home in your homeland feels like. How do you feel? If you're someone who has clear olfactory, clear smelling, like me, I have clear olfactory. I have all my clairs are real active. So I have clear olfactory, so I can smell spirit. Some people have clear olfactory and they can smell if you're sick or if you're well. So if you're someone, especially that one, if you can smell when people are sick or well, smell yourself, smell your skin, smell your hands. Um, claircognizant is trust, but it's also building knowledge. So reading books, watching things that force you to learn, because claircognizant is clear knowing. So the more you know and trust in that knowing, because it's a twofold thing. It is one, being in a space of constantly learning, but also trusting that you know what you know. Claircognizance is heavy on, I know what I know. Claircognizance is, I know what I know. When I got the download, it's what I said. So I feel like claircognizant is heavy on the trust. Your claircognizant strengthens the more that you believe your claircognizant is strong. You believe your claircognizant is strong, the more you trust and move in that. That's how you do that. Um, yep, you know what you know. That's what claircognizance looks like. You know what you know. Clairgustance, clear tasting. I have a goddaughter who is clairgustant, and that's her dominant clair. Her dominant clair is clairgustant. I told her, like, you need to think of ideas and concepts and start documenting what they taste like to you. Keep a running log of what things taste like. And that way, as things comes up, it helps you to divine more clearly using your clairgustance. So those are some things, spiritual gymnasium things. And that's the difference is everyone's psychic, like everyone, especially if you are from the African American diaspora, everyone got at least one grandma, auntie, or somebody in their family that always know the weather because their bones hurt or how their body feel. Like, ooh, it's about to be raining. Oh, it's about to rain. Y'all go ahead and come on inside. The storm coming. They know. It ain't nothing on the weather channel that say that, but I bet you they right. I bet you the storms show up because they know. They're in tune. That is, if they felt it in their body, that's clairsentient. If they simply got it knowing, that's claircognizant. That's claircognizant. That's clairsentient. If your body tells you when the storm is coming, that's clairsentience. That is clairsentience. Everyone has heard someone say, you smell like outside. And I just want you to think about the fact that, what does that mean? What does it mean to smell like outside? You smell like outside. What does that mean? Ain't nobody ask no questions. You just go with it. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes you an empath. That makes you an empath. And yeah, make sure you work on your boundaries so that you are not overcome by their injuries. But yeah, people who smell like outside, they probably got a strong clear olfactory if they used it. They probably have a really strong clear olfactory. I learned that I was an animal empath, but I didn't know it. I knew I attracted cats for a multitude of reasons. Yep, you got to do boundary work. I'm done. Tell your husband don't be like that. Tell him that's not nice. Tell him don't be that way. Tell him don't be that way. I didn't know smelling the rain was an unusual thing until I started seeing people talk about it. It's like, do you know that there are people who can smell the rain coming? And I'm just like, there are people who can't. I thought everybody could. Nope, everybody can't smell the rain. I'm like, okay, I did not know everybody could not smell the rain. Here I am learning something new. You got something in your eye? Come here. Ray. You're welcome. Um, like I didn't know there were people who could not. I thought that was a common thing, but apparently it's just a common thing in the Black community. Because I was like, oh, we can't. Okay, everybody can't do that. Got it. All right, things that I did not know. I didn't know this. Everyone has had a problem at work that they were thinking about when they went to bed, and at least once had a dream about the problem and how to solve it. That's clairvoyance. In case you didn't know, just because you don't see visions don't mean you're not clairvoyant. If you dream, you're clairvoyant. Clairvoyant is clear vision. It doesn't say clear vision when you're awake. It's clear vision, period. Dreams are visions you have while you sleep. Everybody's clairvoyant. Again, the difference between a muggle and somebody else is the person who knows they're clairvoyant works through their dreams. They do work to understand their dreams. Okay, so last question, because I got 5 minutes left before my kid's gonna be like, hey, about them snacks though. So deciphering your dreams. This is the short version of that. I teach a class on this, but this is a short version. First and foremost, making sure you have a dream practice that allows you for you to sleep and at least remember something of your dream. The deeper your practice is, the better you'll remember your dreams. But you have to set your dream space up in a way to be able to see that. You can go to my website. But you can go to my website and if you go to the link in my bio, I think I actually have the page to my mentorship program linked in my bio in the link tree. I think it's like the first link in my link tree. And you can see what that mentorship program looks like. If you want something more personalized, I do personalized coursework too. You can go and schedule a consultation with me. If you book a consultation with me and I can customize a program for you, and I can let you know what it costs. I take payment plans, all those good things. But go to the link in my bio, go to my website, book a consultation. We could talk about what it is, what your goals are, what you're hoping to learn, and you can sign up for my classes. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll do for your daughter. So you got your dream practice. You need to be sleeping next to something that's going to be where you document your dream. You also cannot judge how much you remember. So if all you remember is a color, write it down. If all you remember is a song, write it down. Write the thing down. The other part of it, the equation is understanding what it means for you. So you can get all the dream books, Googles, and all those things. And all those resources are wonderful. But then you also have to start learning yourself enough to know what it means for you. So for instance, if I dream that I'm wearing stilettos, my stilettos are a form of protection. Because chances are, if I'm dreaming about stilettos, there's like copious amounts of water, mud, or something that I'm walking through, and I'm walking in it in heels. And if I'm walking in it in heels, the heels are actually protecting me from whatever I'm walking through. They're a form of protection. I used to lose my car in my dreams. I tell them this in class, like I would dream about my car, I park my car, I come back, my car is gone. My car represented my passion. And I just remember the day that I woke up and from a dream where I found my car. And it was funny because I apparently went slightly lucid because in the dream I was like, oh my God, I found my car. Like I recognized in the moment that I found my car. And I had like, that was a recurring thing. Every dream, my car was missing. Every dream, car is missing. The car is MIA. Car is MIA. I could not get to my car. I did two things, and all of a sudden I started dreaming about my car again. I started learning to read tarot, and I started writing poetry again. And my car came back. Certain locations, pay attention to locations in your dreams, certain locations, and you just start journaling and documenting it. You have a dream that you've had since you were a child, and you said it hasn't been interpreted. I'm not going to do it now but if you want to book, like if you want to book a divination session with me, we can dig into your dream. I ain't did a good dream divination in a long time. You can book a divination with me. I ain't had a good look. I haven't had a good dream divination in a long time. I enjoy dream divination. Them joints be fun. Them joints be real fun. All right, so we have reached the top of the hour and 30-minute mark. First and foremost, yeah, if you book, and you can book directly at the link tree. I have a pay link in my link tree, and if you pay, I'll email you and we schedule time, and we can get together and do the dream divination. I don't mind doing that. I like doing dream divination. Ashe. You know what? Give me a second. I'm about to do something real quick. Hold on. Don't go nowhere, y'all. I'm gonna see if it's gonna let me. Okay, hold on, because dream divination that's gonna be a big divination. So 1 second. Give me a second. Thank you for the hearts. I want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. The link is in there. So full divination is an hour and 15-minute session, and right now the link in my link tree is it's only 101. It's only 101, and in the course of that conversation, if we finish with dream divination, we have some more time, then we'll also talk about what type of classes that you feel like you would like to take. I'll tell you what I offer, and if I don't offer it as a general class, but I can build it, we can talk about that. So definitely hit me up. I'll be around. But I just want to say thank y'all for the time this morning. Ashe. Thank you. I want to say thank y'all for your time, for holding space with me. I observed my O'Shea this morning, and I asked Ishu to ensure that those who were meant to receive the word the way that I was going to give it, those who were needed the medicine that I held, and the way that I administer that medicine, to open the doors so that they can come. So I am grateful to Ishu, and I'm also grateful to your Ori and your Egu and your Egbe, your Orisha, and your entire spiritual court for holding space with me, because if they did not say that this was an alignment for you, if your spiritual court didn't deem that there was some medicine, some wisdom, some good energy, I try to be a purveyor of good vibes. If there wasn't something that was going to be for your highest good, that was going to be happening in this space today, they would not have told you, hey, tap on that live. The encouragement would not have been there for you to stop and watch. Because I started with 0 people and I just kept talking. I said, Ifa said, go live and talk. So that's what I did. So one time for the people that came through holding space, thank you for the follows. Thank you so much for the likes and all of the beautiful things. Modukweo to my goddaughter who came and sat in and held space as well. I hope that you all have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm going to go now, put my mom hat fully onto my person. Do you want to say something?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
No. Isn't.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you, baby. And contrary to popular belief, that's a different child. They just look alike. That's a different kid from the one eating the hearts. They really just look that much alike. They look alike. And they're not twins. They're 18 months apart. So I hope that y'all got something beautiful. If you need anything, by all means, feel free to hit me up. If you can message me on here. If you message me on my website, it is faster. I have a chat. Thanks. Great day. Look. This is what happens when you're clairaudient, them ears be sensitive. I can't deal with all that noise. But if you go to my website, I have a live chat. And if you live chat me, it texts me on my phone. It actually gets to me faster than TikTok does. So if you want to ask a question, send me a message. If you're trying to find something, you can't find it, just message me and I'll direct you where you need to be. But otherwise, I hope you'll have a beautiful day. Otabo, take care.
No.
Oopsies. All right.